Before we dive into the PostgreSQL server, let's take a quick tour of the pgAdmin user interface. On the left-hand side of the pgAdmin user interface, you see the Object Explorer pane. We already have one group called servers. We can create another group by right-clicking, clicking on Create and Server Group, and giving it a specific name. Then clicking on Save and waiting for the changes to take effect. You see another server group. Moving down the tree, inside these servers, you see a collection of databases. But before that, I removed the server group that I've already created because I don't need it. Now, if I click on the PostgreSQL 17 and click on the databases, you'll see two databases there. One of them is the Postgres database, which has several components, and the other one is the colors database that we have already created. Inside the Postgres database, schemas, and down in the public, you see several components which are essential for the functionality of the database. But now if I get out of the Postgres database, collapse it and expand the colors database that we have already created, you can go to the schemas, public, and inside the tables, you see the colors table, which has columns like color ID and color name. We created the colors table with the columns, color ID and color name, and inserted some color names into the colors table using the PSQL command line shell. On the right hand side of the screen, we have the browser tabs. Currently, there is a number of default browser tabs that we can move through. For instance, if you select a particular component in the pgAdmin page, in the Object Explorer page, and if you go to the SQL browser tab, you can select and copy all the SQL commands or structured query language commands to recreate that specific table inside that public schema. You could basically run this command on a different database server, and it would exactly create the same table with the same columns. The Properties tab shows the configuration details for your currently selected object. Depending on what object you have already selected, the details would be different. The Statistics tab gives you some aggregated metrics for the Dependents and Dependencies tabs will help you investigate how all your server components relate to one another. For instance, if you click on Colors table inside the Dependencies tab, it shows you the schema. Finally, we have the Processes tab, which will list out any maintenance routines that pgAdmin is running in the background, such as database backups or purging outdated logs and so on. So these default browser tabs have good information in them. To actually keep the interface clean, I close all of the tabs, and you can also reopen all of them by choosing the open and selecting each tab to open them one by one. You can also find useful information on the dashboard tab depending on the object that you have selected. For example, if I select the configuration, it gives me some extra information about the database server and even about the system if it's applicable. There are other tabs also like activity that you can monitor things related to the database server. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to not lose future content on PostgreSQL. As always, see you all later.